Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Charles from the channel Books on Stereo, and I'm here to give you guys my first vlog. So hey guys, like I said, it's September 13th. I got some new books and I want to show them off to you. Up first, I have Beyond the Highland Mist by Karen Marie Moning, and this is a Highlander romance. Then I hope you can see this well. I have Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. Then I have Pretty Things by Devin McCormick. Hot and Heavy by Elle Kennedy. Her Final Words by Brianna Labuschagne, I believe is how you pronounce the author's last name. Trust No One by Deborah Webb. The Best Thing by Mariana Zapata. Unraveled by Ivy Lane. Murphy's Law by Riley Hart. Lethal Love by Max Walker. Slow Heat by Letta Blake. And then His Saint by Lucy Lennox. And then I have From Blood and Ashes by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And then I have Teacher by Devin McCormick. So I have a pretty big kind of mix of romance, MM, and then MF. And then I also have a couple mystery thrillers mixed into this book haul. But before I kind of sign off for this video clip, I want to show you guys some of the books that I'm currently reading today. And so all these books that I'm going to mention, I probably only have like less than 2 hours left of the audiobook. So definitely I can easily finish these all today because I listen on about 3.5 or 3 speed depending on whether I'm at the book or just depending on a number of factors. I usually stick between 3 and 3.5. So today I'm going to be finishing The Duke Demands by Anna Harrington, and I only have about 20 or so pages left of this one. Then I have The Takeover by T.L. Swan, and I'm absolutely loving this book. I thought I had less to read than I initially thought, but I still have a nice decent chunk of this. This book it looks big, but it's not that big. The audio is about 12 hours long, but it reads really quickly, and this is shaping up to be an easy 5 out of 5 star read for me. Next, I have The Blood of Zeus by Meredith Wilde and Angel Payne, and one thing I didn't notice about this book is that it has these really cool end pages and then pictures of the models that were used to inspire the characters, and so far I'm really loving this book. I think this is the first book in a trilogy, so I'm super excited to see how this book kind of wraps up, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's very kind of run-of-the-mill paranormal romance, but it does things a little bit differently. Then I have You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria, and this is like a telenovela rom-com. I'm almost done with this one as well. Not too much left in that book. And then I also have 2 more books that I want to finish today. It is Heart of the Billionaire Sam by J.S. Scott. And then also I would like to finish Her Wicked Proposal by Lauren Smith. So I kind of have a lot going on, but it isn't too much. I think I should easily be able to get these all done today. I have to because I have more books coming in, and I also have a bunch of library books that are going to be due soon, so I need to get to those as well. But then also I just finished 4 books today. I finished Embracing His Sin by A. Via, and I gave this one, I believe, a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I finished Forsaken by Sloane Kennedy. I gave this one another 5 out of 5 stars. Then I finished By Force Alone by Lavi Tidhar, I believe is how you pronounce the author's name. I did not like this one at all. I gave this one a 1 out of 5 stars. This has to be one of the worst adult fantasies that I ever read. I can't speak on how good it is as an Arthurian retelling because I haven't read that many retellings, but as a fantasy, I really didn't enjoy this. And then finally, the last book that I read today was Sister Dear by Hannah Mary McKinnon, and this is a women's fiction type thriller, and I just finished this. Like I said, I finished this one today. I'm going to give this one maybe a 3.5, but I'm going to round it up to a 4. I would say the first 95% of the book was extremely slow, and then all the twists and turns happened in the last 5%, and it really didn't give you any breathing room. So you kind of were like, oh, twist, 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 and everything just completely came out of left field for me. And I guess that's a good thing, but then also I don't feel completely satisfied by this book. So today is September 16th. I recently just bought a couple books that I want to haul for you guys, and then I also have some updates on some of the books that I've just finished, and then I also want to give you a little sneak peek into some of the books that I'm currently reading. So up first we have Slippery Creatures by KJ Charles, Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert, The Hating Season by K.A. Linde. Then I have Listen to Me by Kristen Proby, Breaking News, if you can see the cover because my light is kind of really reflective, or this cover is really reflective I should say, but this is book 2 in the Prime in the prime time trilogy. Oh, and this is by Ella Frank. Then I have The Sea Witch by Katie Robert, Bad Boyfriend by K.A. Mitchell. Then I have The League and the Lantern by Brian Wells. And then I also have Double Down by Alessandra Tor. And this is book 2, and I can't remember the name of the, All In Duet. And this is the second book. Now that I have just hauled my recent books, now let's jump into the books that I just recently finished. So up first I have Naked in Death by J.D. Roberts, aka Nora Roberts. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Really fast-paced mystery romantic suspense. And I believe this is book 1 in like a 50-book long series, but I really enjoy this first entry and I can't wait to see what the rest of the series has in store. And then next I finished If the Duke Demands by Anna Harrington. This is a historical romance. I gave this one, I believe, a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy the characters, the plot, as well as the writing, but it didn't quite do it for me to hit that 5 out of 5 star status, but it was still a really solid historical romance. Then I have As the Shadow Rises by Katie Rose Poole, and this is a sequel to, I believe, There Will Come a Darkness. I absolutely enjoyed this sequel. I gave it like a 4.5, which I will round up to a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Yeah, I can't go too much into the plot and why I like this one, but I think this one is better paced, I should say. And even though it's about the same length as the first book, I read this one much quicker than I did the first book. Up next, I have My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Fredrik Backman. And this is, I believe, a contemporary, I would classify it. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, but overall it just didn't quite work for me. And Fredrik Backman is like one of my favorite writers, and this and A Man Called Ove, two of his most more popular books, I didn't really like as much. Then I have Uncomplicated by K.M. Newhold. This is an MM contemporary romance. I gave this one about, I don't know, I'm feeling like it's around a 3.5 or 3. My rate, like that half-star rating, I'm really unsure about, but you would think by this cover it would be super steamy, but it actually really isn't. It's pretty tame. Quite angsty and emotional. I don't know if I really enjoy those aspects of this book. Then up next I have Into the Crooked Place by Alexandra Christo, and this is book 1 in a duology. And essentially this is like an alternative take on Six of Crows. Did I finish this? I can't remember. I think I finished this. If I did, I don't remember anything about the ending, but that tells you it's not going to get a very high rating for me. I think I gave this like a 3 out of 5 stars. I really, for the life of me, cannot tell you why I'm rating it so low. Like, I just can't remember. Up next, I have Greythorn by Crystal Smith. This is book 2 in the Bloodleaf trilogy. Pretty forgettable. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Nothing surprising here. It wasn't bad, it was just fine. Then I have Swish by E. Davies. This is book 3 in the Riley Brothers series. This is an MM contemporary romance, and it was fine. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was pretty predictable. Nothing groundbreaking, just a cute, fun, quick, with a slight amount of steam contemporary read. Then up next I have Lady Sophia's Lover by Lisa Kleypas. This is book 2 in the Bow Street series, I believe. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. This has to be my favorite Lisa Kleypas book so far, and I haven't read too much of hers. I haven't read her most popular work, so do not come for me, but of the books that I read, this is like one of my favorites. Then up next I have His Consort by Mary Calms, and this is a paranormal MM romance, and I really enjoyed it. It's quite long and a little bit of a slow burn, but it sets up what I believe is I think there's going to be another book in this series. I'm not 100% sure if it's following the same couple that was in this book, but I feel like we have so much more story to go for this couple, and I can't wait to see what happens next, if they are being followed in the next book. I should really do my research before talking about these books, but gave this one, I think, a 5 out of 5? He's either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. Check my Goodreads to fact check me. Then I read Devil by Sylvia Violet. This is the 3rd book in the Marchese family trilogy. Really enjoyed this, quick, fun, steamy. Gave it about a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The ending was a bit of a letdown, but everything up until that last 10% was golden. Then I had You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria. A lot of people already know about this book, but it's a romance between 2 telenovela co-stars. Gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was going to be a 5 out of 5, but then the last 10% really kind of sucked my rating down a little bit, and the ending was kind of a little bit meh for me, which is super disappointing because I was really interested in this book. Then up next I have Heart of the Billionaire, Sam by J.S. Scott, and I'm really conflicted on how to rate this. I'm feeling like it's a 3.5, so I'm going to round it up to a 4-star read on Goodreads, but this is a billionaire romance, of course, and yeah, it wasn't groundbreaking, it wasn't all that good, it was just fine, but it was better than fine. So I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say with this, but I enjoyed like 75% of it, and I just liked the other 15%, if that makes any sense. What am I doing right now? And then I also finished reading The Blood of Zeus by Meredith Wild and Angel Payne. Gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a paranormal romance with some hints of mythology mixed in, because, like, you know, Zeus, it's on the title, so that kind of clues you in that there's going to be some mythology involved. But yes, I did really enjoy this. I felt like the romance was a little bit flat, but the plot and the characters were super interesting in this book, and I believe this is the first book in what is going to be a trilogy. I could be wrong about that. Like I said, again, I should really do my research before talking about these books. Okay, now on to the final 2 books that I just recently read. First, I have Her Wicked Proposal by Lauren Smith. This is, I think, book 3 or 4 in the League of Rogues series. Enjoyed it. Kind of had the similar problems that I had to the previous book, but I still overall enjoy the plot and the characters and the writing. And then I read one of my most anticipated books of the year, The Takeover by T.L. Swan. If you haven't read a T.L. Swan book, I need you to go and change that. Her audiobooks are absolutely fantastic, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I would reread it again right now if I could, but I have other books to read. But she does have a new audiobook for one of her older books called The Masters, and you bet yourself that I already went and ordered a copy of that book so I can read it. And so here are some of the books that I'm currently reading. I will go through them really quickly so you can see the covers and everything, but starting from the top, I have Sweet Talking Lover by Tracy Livesay, Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting, Trouble by Devin McCormick, A Lethal Love by Max Walker, Hot and Heavy by Ella Kennedy, The Shadows of Stormcliff Hall by Lauren Smith, and this was actually recommended to me by Steph from Steph's Romance Book channel. I think that's the name of her channel. Anyways, I'll link her down in the description below so you guys can go check her out. She's an awesome romance booktuber and she has so many good recommendations. Then I have Murphy's Law by Riley Hart. Truths I Never Told You by Kelly Rimmer. I think, yeah, Kelly Rimmer. Sorry, I had to make sure I got the author's name right. Then I have Harrow Lake by Kate Ellis, and this is a YA horror book. Then I have Spindlefire by Lexa Hillier, and this is a YA Sleeping Beauty retelling. Then I have His Saint by Lucy Lennox, and I believe this is like book 5 in the Forever Wild series. And then finally I have Blood and Ash by Deborah Wild. So I will catch up with you guys probably tomorrow to let you know what I recently just finished, because I probably will finish a lot of these books tomorrow, and then I also have more books coming in the mail, and then maybe I could do a library book haul because I have a ton of library books I need to get through. So it is a very busy reading time for me. For some reason, I decided I want to read everything, and it's getting a little bit out of hand. So today is September 20th. It has been a while since I given you guys an update, and I'm so sorry about that, but I got some new books in that I want to show you guys. I got some books that I want to update you that I'm currently reading, and there are a lot of books that I'm currently reading. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get into the books I recently just received. So up first, I have The Diviners by Libba Bray, and this is the first book in, I don't know what the name of the series is called, but I know there's 4 books in this series. People have raved about this series, so I'm so excited to be delving into this one. Then I have Awaken by Moni Boyce, and this is book 1 in the Oracle Chronicles. And this book does not have an audio, and I still got it. But so I'm actually going to be physically reading a book, which is so weird to say because it has been such a long time since I have physically read a book. This will definitely be an experience. Let me know if you want me to vlog my experience reading this book. Then I have Riley's Sanctuary by Liliana Hart, and this is, I think, book 3 in the Mackenzie Security series. These are like quick little fun novellas that are really easy to read. They're all on audio as well. I think there's about 5 in the series. So for right now, these are just kind of comfort reads for me, and I really do enjoy picking up one of these. It's a nice palate cleanser in between books. And then I have The Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste, and this is a middle grade. I got this audiobook on sale on Libro FM, but I wanted to get a physical copy to read along with, so yes, that's why I got this book. And I honestly do not know anything about what this book is. I thought I saw it on someone else's channel, but then I looked back on it. I looked back at that person's channel and it was a completely different book. But I already had the audiobook, so I was like, I might as well give it a shot. Then I have Breaking Danger by Lisa Marie Rice, and I think this is book 3 in the Ghost Op series or trilogy. I'm just gonna ignore that this is book 3 and just read it like I didn't know there were 2 other books before this one. And all I know about this one is that it is romantic suspense. Then, I don't know if I showed you guys this book yet, but this is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Smith, and this is an adult fantasy. I don't even think I started this one yet, but I heard great things about it. Sarah J Maas blurbed it. There's like a ton of authors that I really like, minus Sarah J Maas that blurbed it. And so I decided to give this one a try. Then I have Mr. Masters by T.L. Swan. She's like one of my favorite romance authors right now. And this book was just released on audio, so I was like, I have to drop everything and read this book. And this book will make Bree really happy. It is Beloved Liar by Lauren Rowe, and this is book 3 in the Reed Rivers trilogy. And I can't tell you too much about this book, but it is contemporary romance. It definitely is a little bit on the more angsty side, but I'm really enjoying this, and I'm super excited to finish up this trilogy, and then I'm going to go back to her other series because this is a spin-off of one of her older series, so I'm gonna go back and read that one after I finish this book. Up next I have another middle grade. This is Randy Rose Ninja Detective by Octavia Spencer, and yes, I'm talking about Octavia Spencer, the actress. I think this is her first middle grade book, and I'm super excited to pick this one up. Then I have A Conspiracy in Belgravia by Sherry Thomas, and this is book 2 in the Lady Sherlock series, so this is more historical mystery romance. Then I have Awakening, which is a dark mafia romance. This is book 2 in the trilogy. I don't remember the name of the trilogy, but this one is by Lee Savino and Stasia Black. Then I have Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. I actually have the arc of this one, but I wanted to go pick up a physical copy from my library so I can read it and actually review it, even though I should have already read it and reviewed it a while ago since this book is out now, but I gotta get that NetGalley ratio up. Then I have The Sea Witch by Katie Roberts. I think this is like book 4 in the Wicked Villain series. I've only read the first one so far, but I got this one as a signed copy, if you can see. Casey? No? Sorry, my light is too bright, but it is a signed copy. And then I have One Foot in the Grave by Janine Frost. This is book 2 in the Night Huntress series. I don't think it's a trilogy, but I think it is a full-on series. And I'm really looking forward to this book. The first book was really, really good, and I'm super excited to get into this one. Then up next, I have Beyond the Highland Mist by Karen Marie Moning. I think I already showed you this book before, but I forgot. So all I know about this one is that this one is a Highlander romance, and I've been trying to get into those and see like what the hype is, but so far I haven't found one that really just clicked with me. Then I have one of my favorite authors, Adriana Herrera. This is American Love Story, which is I think this is book 3 in the American Sweetheart series. I think that's the name of the series, but I'm super excited to get into this book. I have loved the previous 2 books, and this audiobook is actually for free on Hoopla, so I don't have to spend any more money to get the audio. Then I have Trade Deadline by Avon Gale and Piper Vaughn, and this is book 3 in the... It's a hockey series. This is a hockey MM romance. I've read the first 2 books and I absolutely love them. These books are really steamy and not suitable for young audiences because the steaminess is off the charts in these books. And I'm super excited to finish out this trilogy with this book. Up next, I have The Men of Bitter Creek by Joan Johnston. I know nothing about this one, but the audiobook was on sale and I wanted a physical copy, so I just bought it. And then up next, I have Unbound, and this is an anthology with stories by Kim Harrison, Melissa Marr, Janine Frost, Vicki Peterson, and Jocelyn Drake. I only have heard of 3 of these authors, so I'm super excited to give this one a shot. I believe all these novellas take place in their already established worlds, so this may be a really great intro into a lot of these other series. And if you thought that was all the books I had to haul for you guys are extremely wrong. Because then I have Kiss of Crimson by Laura Adrian. This is book 2 in the Midnight Breeze series, and this is a vampire paranormal romance. Then I have Riding Hard by Lauren Landish, and this is a cowboy romance, and I believe this is book 2 in the trilogy. Then I have Baby Makes 3 by Carrie Davis, and this is an MM contemporary romance. I believe this is book 2 in this duology. Then I have The Best Thing by Mariana Zapata. One of my favorite authors, Transference by Ava Harrison. This is book 3 in like this Montgomery Brothers series. I didn't know that this was a series when I picked up these books, and I read them all out of order, and this was the last book I had to read in that trilogy. Then I have Easy Love by Kristen Proby, and this is a contemporary romance. And then this book will make Steph super happy. It is Lies, which is book 2 in the Web of Sin trilogy by Alethea Romig, one of Steph's favorite authors, and I'm super excited to be continuing on in this trilogy. And this book is big, this one's a thick one, and I'm super excited to get into this. It has been a while since I read the first book, so hopefully I haven't missed too much, but if I need to go back and reread the first book, I will definitely do that before diving into this one. Then I have Trust No One by Deborah Webb. This is a contemporary mystery. Then I have Slow Heat by Letta Blake, and this is an MM Omegaverse novel. Then I have Part 2 of Land and the Shade by Brittany C. Cherry. I'm super excited to get into the second installment, and look at the pages, with that little drip or paint. I don't know what you call it, but this book is gorgeous. Then I have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Basically, the only reason why I have this book is because Lacey's making me read this one, and this one's really big and really long, but at least there's an audiobook for this one. Then I have another one of Steph's recommendations. This one is Next in Line by Amy Dawes, and I know this is book 2 in a trilogy or just a series, I can't remember, but I don't think the series has a title, maybe Wait With Me or something like that, but I think that's the title of the first book, but I'm rambling. This is Next in Line. I have no idea what this one is about, but I really enjoyed the first book in this series, and I can't wait to dive into this one. Up next, I have Number One Rival by T. Geffhart, I believe is how you pronounce the author's name, and this seems like an enemies to lovers romance, and I believe this is book 2 or 3 in this Number One series. Then I have Three Simple Rules by Nikki Sloan, and this is, I believe, an office place romance. And then I have Unbreakable by Melanie Harlow. This is book 4 in the Cloverleaf Farm series. Such a good series. I highly recommend that you guys go check out this series. The first book is one of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely adore that book. And so I can't wait to dive into this book. Then I have Her Final Words by Brianna Labuschagne, which I think this is a mystery novel. Then I have Pretty Things by Devin McCormick. This is an MM contemporary romance. Unraveled by Ivy Lane. I think this is book 1 in the Untangled series. Then I have Forever Mine by Anna Zares, and this is book 4 in the Tormentor series. I think that's what it's called. Then I have Stranded by Cara D, and this is book 2 in the Auction series, and this is an MM dark romance. Then I have Magical Dating Life by K.A.F. Brain. This is a women's fiction paranormal. I don't know if it's necessarily romance, but it's women's fiction. And then I have Twice a Wish by Peppa Winters. This is book 2 in the Goddess Isles series. And this is, I would say, dark taboo romance. So sorry if you have seen any of these other books in a previous clip. I'm sorry, I forgot. I should have kept better track. Do not come for me. But this last book is How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire by Carolyn Sparks. And this is, I believe, book 1 in a paranormal vampire romance series. And thank you guys so much for hanging in there for this long video. Now let's go into the books that I'm currently reading. This may shock you how many books I'm currently reading. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a synopsis, but I'm probably not because there's too many books I'm currently reading, but at least I'll give you my quick thoughts on all these books. I think I have 20 to 30 books that I'm currently reading. Yes, I'm crazy. I completely acknowledge that. Okay, so up first I have Spindlefire by Lexa Hilliard. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and so far it's kind of meh to me. It's a little bit mediocre. I'm not loving it or I'm not hating it. It is a pretty quick read, and hopefully I should be done with this in the next day or so. I only have about an hour left of the audiobook. Then I have Harrow Lake by Kate Ellis, and this is a YA horror book. So far, I would say the first 50% of this book, I didn't like it. I didn't really like our main character, and it does one thing that I really hate in YA books is when the main character refers to her parents by their first names. It just like, I don't know why, but it jars me so much, especially when there's no explanation on why you're referring to your mom by her name or your dad by his name. That's just like my little nitpicky thing, but in the last half of the 50% of the book, it has gotten much better. It's not really all that creepy. There are some creepy vibes, but it seems pretty tame to me so far. Then I have Sweet Talking Lover by Tracy Livesay, and this is the first book in the Girls Trip series, and I'm like nearly done with this. I only have like 20 pages left of this one, and this ain't it for me. I like the characters, I like the story, but the romance just completely fell apart for me in this one. Then I had Bad Boyfriend by K.A. Mitchell, and this is the book 2 in the Bad in Baltimore series. And oh my goodness, this one is incredibly steamy. This is an MM romance. If you're gonna listen to the audiobook, make sure you listen to it alone because it gets pretty steamy from chapter 2. Then I have Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage by Jennifer Ashley, and this is book 2 in the Mackenzie Brothers series, I believe. That's what it's called. And this book has been a struggle for me. I still have maybe like 2 hours left to go on the audiobook, and this one is just dragging for me. I'm really not liking the romance. The characters are fine to me. The plot is fine to me. Then I have Blood and Ash by Deborah Wild, and this is a women's fiction paranormal romance that features a lot of Jewish elements, oddly, but so far I am enjoying it. It is a little bit of a mediocre read. It hasn't quite capture my attention fully. It's just a really good audiobook to put on the background. So right now this is sitting at maybe like a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I have Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting, and this one is so funny. It's a cute rom-com contemporary romance, and I'm loving this one so far. Then I have A Lethal Love by Max Walker, and this is book 2 in the Stonewall Investigation series. This is an MM contemporary romance, mixed in with a little bit of mystery suspense, so maybe more like a romantic suspense, I should say. I'm really loving this one so far. It is quite different than the first book, but I'm loving it. Like, it's still good, but it's good in a different way, if that makes sense. Then I have The Hating Season by K.A. Linday, and this is book 2 in the Hating series, or like this season series. I don't know what this series is called, but I'm really enjoying this one. This is this is Court Kensington and some other girl, I can't remember her name. But yes, I'm loving this one so far. I would definitely recommend that you go read the Cruel Legacy trilogy before going into this one because it does contain some spoilers for that series. And then I have Embattled Hearts by J.M. Madden. This is a military-esque romance featuring a male character who is in a wheelchair and his female love interest and his ability. I would classify this more as a romantic suspense. It's really a quick read. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I probably only have like less than an hour left on the audiobook, so I will definitely be finishing this one up pretty soon. Then I have Logan's Need by Sloane Kennedy, and this is an MM dark romance. And I've already should have known that this was going to be super angsty, but I didn't realize how angsty it was going to be and how steamy it was going to be. So you have like a huge heaping of angst and a huge heaping of steam, and it's just a lot to take in from the get-go. Then I have Listen to Me by Kristen Propey. This is book 1 in the Fusion series, and this is a contemporary rock star romance, or I should say ex-rock star romance, and I'm really enjoying this one so far as well. Then I have Learn My Lesson by Katie Roberts, and this is book 2 in the Wicked Villains series. This is essentially a Hercules retelling, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. It is a little bit, no, it is a menage, and I'm loving this one so far. This one is definitely a step up from the first book, and I already love the first book so much. Then I have The Circle Omega Academy book 2 by Lily Archer, and this is a paranormal reverse harem sci-fi romance. I think I covered all the triggers for all like the, not the triggers, but like the taglines of where you would classify this as. But so far I'm liking it. We got in more into the romance side. The first book was like just more of a slow burn and just kind of our characters getting to know each other. And in this book, we're just going for it, and I am so here for it. Then I have Murphy's Law by Riley Hart. This is book 2 in the Havenwood series, and this is a contemporary MM romance. And so far, the first 50% was just not doing it for me, but then once we kind of worked through that angst and all those emotional touchy feelings, it got a lot better. Then I have Ranch Daddy by Sylvia Violet, and do I need to say anything about this book? The title basically gives everything away, and this is an MM romance, and it's just, it's a guilty pleasure, but I'm loving it. Okay, and now we're on the final stretch of books that I'm currently reading. I told you it was a lot. I have warned you. I have warned you more than once. So let's finish this up and then we can wrap up this video. So up next I have Slippery Creatures by KJ Charles, and this is book 1 in the Will Darling's Adventures, and this is an MM historical spy romance, and I'm loving it so far. It does take me a little bit of time to get into KJ Charles's books because sometimes the language is a little bit off-putting. It takes me some time to adjust. But once I kind of get acclimated to the story, I really end up enjoying. I really found myself enjoying this book. Then I have Breaking News by Ella Frank, and this is book 2 in the Prime Time trilogy. And I'm loving this one. This one is a little bit slower just because we're dealing with the fallout from book 1, but I'm still enjoying it. Then I have Love and Other Wild Things by Marley Harper, and this is book 2 in the Mystic Bayou series. And I'm loving it so far. It is the perfect mix of humor and steam and plot and character, and I just really enjoy Marley Harper's writing. Then we have The Shadows of Stormcliff Hall by Lauren Smith, a dark seductions novel, and this one was recommended to me by Steph. I'll link her channel below down in the description box down below. And this one is a wild ride. You have to be in the mood for this because right off the bat, this book just goes for it and it just does not stop. Then I have Let's Get Textual by Tegan Hunter. Yeah, Tegan Hunter, yes. And this one is a contemporary, I would say, rom-com. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. It is a really cute, fun, quick read. Then I have Trouble by Devin McCormick, and this is, I believe, a student-teacher romance in high school. But the student is 18 years old, so like it's not anything extremely taboo. It's still taboo, but it's not like extremely taboo. But yes, I'm really enjoying this one so far. It is really angsty, and I feel like it's, I hate to say realistic, but it does a good job of showing how a relationship like this could form and not have it be extremely problematic, but still be slightly problematic. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm enjoying this book. And then we are on our final 2 books. The first book is His Saint by Lucy Lennox, and so far I'm enjoying this. It's not bad. It's not particularly good. It's just kind of middle of the road for me. It's probably going to be like a 3.5, which I'll round up to a 4 out of 5 star. And this is an MM bodyguard romance. And then I have Hot and Heavy by Elle Kennedy, and this is book 2 in the Out of Uniform series. And essentially this series, or this book I should say, it's a set of 3 novellas following a different Navy SEAL. And so the stories are pretty formulaic in how they're kind of constructed, but I still enjoy them. They're nice, quick, and fun reads. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you liked this vlog. I know this video was super long, so this is going to push if you guys are going to actually be able to make it through the entire video, but I hope you do. I hope you love this. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you want to see more videos like this, because I can definitely do this. And I really enjoyed filming this video, even though just the amount of books that I have and the books that I'm currently reading is kind of giving me a little bit of anxiety, but we're just gonna put that over to the side. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys with a brand new video. Peace.